Hi, this is my account Missing Pair, and I haven't opened a new room in Brady Shores in over 6 months. That's because I'm not allowed to until I've completed the highest level skilling challenge in my current map. Not only was I tasked to max out Chef, Fen also dropped a new grind on me by adding new tiers of Kelp which I had to go and forage. In this video we finally hit that goal and begin opening up new rooms. And we're coming in with the 247 forager. It's a completely arbitrary number except for the fact that it gives me a new type of anemone, which I can't gather. But we can just now see copper kelp at the bottom. The end is in sight. So yeah, going to celebrate that with a bit more picking up kelp. And with this kelp, we're going to hit 1.5k total. What a good start to the day. A day filled with joy and kelp. Here we are. It is the dawn of the final day of kelping. It's been a long one. It's been 6 months, basically, since I've last been able to roll and expand my map. We've maxed Fisher, we've maxed Chef. We've been hit by a surprise kelp grind, but it's brought us back to the beach where it all started, where this account started basically 1 year ago. It seems rather fitting, and I'm one level away now. Levels are about 2.5 hours. It's going to feel big to me. It's going to feel, whoops. It's going to feel big to me. It's going to feel like a 10-second cut to you. But that's what this account's about, right? So let's get that final level, and then finally I can roll again. It's going to feel so good. And here it is, the actual final kelp. 265, and it immediately turns copper. That is beautiful to look at. I would question why copper is after silver, but at this point I'm beyond caring. Well, it's some kelp, is what the card says, and that is indeed how I'm feeling right now. Oh, so good. Let's get a few more, and then let's get these to the bank, and we can do a final roundup of the numbers and see just how many kelp I'm going to have in storage. Here we are at the bank, 46,000 kelp, silver kelp. That's one day going to be a lot of hit points potions. We've obviously now got copper kelp. That's the best tier of healing potion once we get access to wall plants. I've got one tan one just to make a potion and collect the card eventually, and our trusty stack of green kelp is, as always, there. Awesome. That is everything, absolutely everything I can do in my current map. So what we're going to do next is I'm just going to do a quick summary of all the rooms that are adjacent to me so we can have some idea of what could happen on the upcoming roll. So starting off here, we've got this sparring area that has a sparring guard, the weakest enemy in the game. Nothing to do there but simply defeat one and move on, and it's a dead end, so there's no rooms beyond that. A similar story for the room attached to the infirmary is the critical care ward. That's going to be the first side quest that I could start, potentially. So interesting. I could progress the quest a little bit, but not enough to complete it, sadly. But it would be nice to have something started. Down here we've got Brannoff Boulevard. That would be a short foraging grind and would give us access to periwinkles. They are combined with shells for XP potions, but shells are obviously on my map, but I don't have the tool to gather them. What I really want is one of these rooms. It's this one. It's the Forager's Warehouse. Now, if I get access to foraging tools, even my existing map, everything changes, because there's so many things that I have access to that I just cannot collect. I don't have secateurs for the wall plants. I don't have pond nets for the pondweed, and the trowel for things like shells. It would be a bit of a domino effect by getting the tools, because it would mean more foraging things I can turn into reagents, turn into potions, cook things, fish things, all sorts of things would happen. Also on this street we have Pipe Alley. That would lead to the Cape shop, which Would be cool to get a cape to wear, but otherwise doesn't give me anything. Going south, the two options would be the abandoned shop, which does nothing, but is sometimes used in holiday events, and Christmas is right around the corner, so that might be nice to have. The other route south is Tim's Alley, that has thieves. Again, they are a monster that is lower than my current Hairbeast one, so I'd kill one and move on. Around the town gates, we've got Nabeth's house. That's a quest-related room that doesn't do anything for me. And the north and south walls. They are goblin soldiers and goblin chiefs. The south walls is one of the key rooms that I need to be able to progress the main story and potentially one day escape Hopeport. Down here we've got Willhope Crossing. That leads into Willhope Passage. That is the location of a passive monster. We've got the street louse, but it's an immediately a goal I can do because it's lower than what I have unlocked. Down here to the boardwalk going east, we would hit a very bad room to get immediately. It leads to a room with scrap metal. That's a foraging passive that you can collect. It would give me a goal to do, but if I don't have the scrapyard, I can't sell it or bank it, and it sounds like it's going to be used in the future for something useful in blacksmith, so it would be nice to get an early start on banking as much of that as possible. Coming around here, this is the scrapyard I just mentioned, so getting that early would be nice, and on its own the room doesn't do anything, but it does start another one of the side quests. Coming around here, beyond Seashore, we've got Jellyfish Landing, I believe? I think so. That's a slight combat grind, which I already have unlocked, and a few more foraging nodes. Up here, Rubble Road. South would be finally a higher level monster than what I currently have active, so the green-lid carnivorous plant. It's actually interesting that this is the first monster that is beyond level 15, which is when ranged weapons start to drop. So currently I have a level 33 ranged weapon, but it's only common because it was pulled out of a chest. You can only get common weapons from a chest, so being able to kill those might drop something of a better rarity. Going north would be the absolute worst at the moment. This room on its own isn't too scary. There's just more hairbeasts, there is more water lilies, but it puts us directly adjacent to the wasteland, and that contains monument pieces. Now, I don't have the monument, so I wouldn't be able to bank any of the monument pieces, but they go all the way to level 490. I would only get 4 nodes in that room, not the full 8. And it's in a room full of aggressive monsters, so it's the absolute worst result would be going up here north and then immediately into the wasteland. So I'm saying this here so it doesn't happen. That's how it works. If you announce something, it literally cannot happen. So that's every option really from the current map. So what I'm going to do next is set up my picker wheel and then we will get to rolling. Right, here we are. I've come to the hooked hand. I've put myself in a disguise so hopefully people don't see me walking into new rooms and rolling. Let's pull up the wheel. Here we go. Whew. So I've marked a few of the more notable ones. We've got Brannoff Boulevard with the flower, Forager's Warehouse with the tools, and Overgrown Road with the warning sign because we do not want to roll in that direction. I'm pretty nervous, so I'm not going to milk it anymore. I'm just going to click spin and see what we get. Oh. Okay, Neighbour's house, that's fine. Yeah, happy with that. Yeah, cool. I'll go unlock that now. It's a dead end. It's a instant roll again, but we'll check it out. So we're here at the town gates. I've just double checked this is the right house to go into, and we will meet Nabeth. There's nothing to do here. It's just literally her house. There's a sink, a table we can search, and we can talk to her. What is this? Oh, interesting. Bones. We won't take that. I'm a figment of your imagination. Yes, I might as well be, since it may be a long time before we ever come back in here again. Let's... Oh, you can't sit on this chair. That's annoying. I wanted to sit down. Let's pull up the window again. So I've removed Nabeth's house from the selection. We've got 15 more. And let's roll. Okay, good. Ooh, yes, scrapyard, yes! Awesome, exactly what I wanted. Let's go and log that right now. I have ran past this scrapyard so many times, hoping, wishing I would get it, and now I finally do, and it is such a relief to get the scrapyard, because if I get scrap metal is now a good room. I was saying it was like the second worst room before. Now it is absolutely fine. We've got the scrapyard, we've got the new ores and ingots bank, so we'll be able to store things in there. And we've got Haley Branoff, who I think will offer us a quest. Can I help you? I have junk to sort. Your relation, yes. How do I get the... Branoff Inheritance is the quest we can now start. So let me just whiz through this and we will see how far I can get on with it. There's Branoff Wealth. And I will, of course, offer to help her find the inheritance. Who else has the clues? There's Lord Branoff. I can immediately discount him. I cannot get into his house. James Newtap, he's in Pipe Alley. I cannot get to him yet. And then there is the tourist in the restaurant. I think I can progress some of what that is. Any clues? That's it. I think that's all I can do. But we'll go and talk to the guy at the restaurant. I think he asked for some kind of chef thing. Gurnard soup feels familiar. I don't have access to Gurnards. So strictly speaking, this isn't required to progress. But I have been wondering if I can pull a Gurnard out of a chest with enough patience and progress the quest a little bit more. It wouldn't get me anything substantial, but it would be a little bit cool. So let's have a little investigation and see if there's any more I can do here. Of course, the first clue in this quest is this swirl symbol, which I'll be able to do something with. Use item on? Ink. I need ink. I completely forgotten how to use the ink. Yeah, there we go. Cool. That's the swirl one. The next one is the fish one. So I talked to the man in the restaurant. He wants a big eye Gurnard soup. There are no Gurnards in my map. That should be the end of it. But I am going to have a little bit of an attempt to pull one out of a chest just to see. Well, I gave it a bit of a go. I got a load of junk. I'm not going to stress too much about it. We don't know where we're rolling for the next big grind, so I think it's fine to leave it there, and if I'm bored during the next large grind, I'll come back to this as an idea. Let's just go straight back in and get the wheel up. Here we go. So I've taken the scrapyard out. That was another dead end room, so there's 14 options. Let's roll. A lot of dead ends being cleared up. Oh no. No! Okay, of course. We've got the overgrown road, so let's go and unlock that and then put the new rooms available on the wheel. And here we are. So this room has goat horns, hair beasts and water lilies, and the new one I'm unlocking just has more of the same. I don't think it has the goat horns, but it has more hair beasts, more water lilies. There we go. Nothing much to do here. I could discover a few more things. But once again, killing these, I've already killed these, and I don't have a pond net. And there are technically 2 rooms that lead off from this, but we cannot get through this large slab of rock without more of the Brannoff Inheritance quest. And beyond this is the Wasteland, which we do not want to get. I'll reiterate that as many times as it is needed. We do not want the Wasteland. It is more than a death room. It is a double death room. I'm putting as many skulls on it as it will fit. So yeah, we're still at 14 possible options. I would like the tools would be good. That makes this less deathy. But literally anything other than that. So now I'm nervous. Now it feels like when I said it so it won't happen. It's feeling more like I said it so it's being brought into existence. So let's spin and see. Oh, hold on. Yes. Awesome. I was worried it was going to just flip over into Pipe Alley at this last second. Awesome. Forager's Warehouse, tools, so much to unpack here. Let's go and check it out. Here we are, the beautiful, beautiful sign hanging just above the Forager's Warehouse. Hello, Ella. I would like to purchase everything you have. So, we've got sacks. That is new. I had every form of container apart from sacks, so I'm just going to max buy a few of them. And then secateurs, I can instantly buy the best one. It doesn't matter about these two. Trowel, I can buy it. Pond net, I can buy it. So, what does that mean? So if we take a look in our map, wall plants. We didn't have wall plants before. We can now collect some. Our first goal is going to be this 282 forager for the midday wall plant. We've got shells. We can go and get shells. We can go and get pondweed. We can go and dig up goat horns. We can get those water lilies we just saw. So many things are going to unlock for us now. So let me just take stock of what we can get, and I will come back to you with a list of goals. Right, so I've just got finished checking the recipe books in Melv's and the Alchemists, and I can say that my new goals are 430 forager for the highest collection thing. That is an enemy from the passive pools, and I also need to get alchemy up to 296 because I now have access to both the ingredients for healing potions, so I need to do the best of that. All that kelp is going to be a massive help in doing the alchemy. I just need to gather the other half of the reagents, which is the wall plants. And most importantly of all, I have passive training methods. I can go to the pools, the rock pools, to get sea slugs and anemones. So even when I'm not making progress, I'm still making progress. We're finally out of the era of having to be grinding away at rubbish methods to progress the account. I'm going to have the best form of healing in the game, and I'm going to basically get high up there in Hopeport before I've even left. This is such a good selection of rooms to get. I didn't hit the death room. I have passive training methods. I cannot state how much that is a game changer for me. It's been tough getting like back-to-back grinds of like high 500 grinds without any form of passives. Other things I've unlocked, so just to give the total collection, I have goat horns. That'll be useful in the future. I have shells, water lilies, pondweeds, and sea slugs. Sea slugs are one of the forms of bait, but they catch dabs, and I do not have dabs. So right now I'll be banking any sea slugs I get, but they don't unlock a fishing or chef grind. But even if they did, I've maxed those skills, so it would just be a matter of collecting the cards. Wow. This has been, I think, a great little set of rooms. I think we did 4 unlocks. The map has not expanded massively. We've got a bit of a growth going on here. We've got a few little blobs around, but unlocking tools is just the best result. So I'm going to figure out a few different training methods. I'm going to go around and collect some cards, and then it's so good seeing these kelp in the bank, because now I know that they're going to be so useful, and they're going to carry me through not only the alchemy grind but the combat grind beyond that. So I'm going to use all these when it gets to that point. This has been a great set of rolls. It's everything I could have hoped for. Thank you. I'll go and collect some cards now. And let's get the first usage of the secateurs on screen. So we're going to just do a quick snip. There's creamy wall plants. Here's vibrant wall plants. Here's, what's the teal one's called? Oh, teal. Good. Well named. Teal wall plants. And the final one that I've currently got access to, I think the teal ones look the best. And once I've maxed skills, I feel like we should be able to set our past action to just aesthetic reasons. But whatever. We've got Scarlet. They're pretty good looking too. And then one day we're going to get Midday. That's not too far away actually. It's only 282. And in this room we've got shells. Beautiful, beautiful shells that have been mocking me almost for a long time. We can finally dig these up. A bit awkwardly, there's only 3 spawns in this room, so I'm going to have to wait for one to respawn to get the last card. Where is the 3rd shell actually? Am I blind? Oh, it's up here. I'll get a basin shell. While we're waiting for these to respawn, let's just take a look at the rock pool. So we've got slugs and anemones both come out of this. There's our 430 target eventually to reach, but every night from now on, Ebsworth will have to fire me. I won't be working in his shop for the foreseeable future. I'll be out here dipping my net and getting a few different unlocks. So if I get the slippy sea slug, beautiful. Let me just stop that and reorder these. We've got the shells coming out, so I'm not going to bore you by making you watch all of them, but let's get a crown shell and then collect some more cards up here. And we've got some goat horns. We've got 5 tiers of that. That's interesting. These are going to be very useful when we get to weapon crafting in presumably many years. I don't know if I've actually said this on the videos before, but my character is definitely going to be a guardian. My other 2 saves are already locked in as their particular faction, so that was always going to be the case. And guardians obviously use these bones as their weapon crafting fodder, so having them in episode 1 just is a nicer thing for me. I don't have to unlock anything later or weird. And we can now take a little dip in this pool and collect some pondweeds. These would have been very nice to have on the big kelp grind, but it is what it is. Got 4 of those to get at the minute. All these cards are just dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. And then the last thing we've got to get is the water lilies. Here we are. 4 of these. White caramel? Yeah, they look nice. I like caramel ones. Yellowy one. Copper, of course. And let's just dip into this room. So nice that we have 2 of these now to get the blue one, the cerulean one rather, and that is a whole inventory basically of new cards. Awesome. There is a chance, future use alchemist, there is a chance that some of what I've gathered will trigger some kind of grind if Project Milestone releases that section of itself while I'm on this grind. So that's a wait and see. But for now, we've got 2 big goals to look at. We've got the foraging grind and the alchemy grind. Obviously, they're the only 2 grinds I can get at the minute since we've maxed the other 2 skills. But yeah, this is a new era, a new chapter on the grind, and it's a varied grind. That's what we like to see. So I'm going to be collecting a few more of these things, and I will let you just cut to the outro. And there we go. A great series of rolls. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm going to go and make some potions and have a very good time.